Good evening, Virgo. You've felt it, haven't you? That heaviness, that strange, uncomfortable energy following you around like a shadow. And it's not coming from within you, it's coming from someone else. Someone who's watching your life unfold and struggling with what they're seeing, okay? Let's see what this energy brings. I'm sensing resentment, deep, festering resentment. And it's not because you did something terrible to this person. It's because you did something they didn't expect. You moved forward. You healed. You thrived. You stopped waiting for them to be ready, to change, to choose you. And that might have shattered their entire narrative. Hold on. Let's sit with this for a moment. Here's what I'm feeling. This person might have expected you to stay stuck, to remain in the same emotional place where they left you, waiting, hoping, diminished. And when people leave us, whether it's a breakup, a friendship ending, or a falling out, some part of them wants to believe we won't be okay without them. It validates their importance in our story. But you didn't give them that satisfaction, did you? You picked yourself up. You invested in your healing. You started building a life that didn't revolve around their absence. And now they're confronted with evidence that you're not only surviving, you might actually be flourishing. And for some people, that's unbearable. I don't think their anger is really about you. I think it's about what you represent. You're a mirror reflecting back everything they're not doing for themselves, every choice they're not making, every bit of growth they're avoiding. Your progress is highlighting their stagnation. And instead of using that as motivation, they're using it as ammunition for bitterness. Is less than has home. Zero hash is greater than. I'm also picking up on jealousy, but it's layered. It's not just about wanting what you have, it's about feeling replaced. Like maybe you've formed new connections. Maybe you're investing energy in people or projects that used to be reserved for them. Maybe you're glowing in ways you never did when you were entangled with their chaos. And they're noticing, oh, they're definitely noticing. Have you caught them checking up on you? Social media stalking, asking mutual friends about you, finding excuses to be in spaces where they might run into you or hear about you. That's not indifference. That's obsession wrapped in pride. Let's talk about control for a second, because I'm sensing that this person might have had a certain amount of control in your dynamic. Not necessarily overt, manipulative control, though for some of you, maybe that too. But emotional control, the ability to affect your mood, your decisions, your sense of worth. And when you started moving on, that control evaporated. And people who are used to having power over others don't handle losing it gracefully. Their anger might actually be panic in disguise. Panic that they've lost you for good, that the door they assumed would always be open has quietly, permanently closed. Here I feel a slightly different energy. Some of you, this person might be actively trying to disrupt your peace, spreading stories, painting themselves as the victim, trying to control the narrative so that your growth looks like betrayal and their stagnation looks like loyalty. But here's the thing about truth. It doesn't need defense. It just needs time. People who truly know you will see through the smoke. And people who don't, their opinions were never going to serve you anyway. I want to ask you something. Does knowing they're bothered bring you satisfaction? Or does it make you sad? Because your answer reveals a lot about where you actually are in your healing. If their pain still affects you deeply, if you still want to fix it, explain yourself, make them understand you might not be as moved on as you think. But if you feel more neutral, like that's unfortunate for them, but it's not my responsibility, that's freedom. That's genuine detachment. I'm also sensing projection. This person might be accusing you of things they're actually guilty of, saying you're cold when they were the one who withdrew, saying you've changed when they refused to grow, saying you're selfish when you finally started prioritizing yourself after years of putting them first. Projection is a defense mechanism. It's easier to make you the villain than to face their own shortcomings. Let's see what else is here. I'm picking up on something about new beginnings in your life. Maybe a new relationship, a new job, a new living situation, a new version of yourself that's visibly different from who you were when they knew you. And that newness, it's salt in their wound because it's proof that life goes on, that chapters end, that people evolve beyond the roles others tried to keep them in. Your happiness isn't an attack on them, but they might be experiencing it that way. I also want to address something important. Their negative energy towards you, the jealousy, the anger, the hate. It can only affect you if you let it. If you're still energetically entangled with them, still checking their social media, still rehearsing conversations in your head, still hoping they'll see your growth and regret losing you. But if you've truly released them, their emotions are theirs to carry, not yours. Are you still giving them real estate in your mind? Or have you evicted them completely? Here's what I'm also sensing. Some of you might feel guilty for moving on. Like, they're struggling and part of you feels bad. Part of you wants to reach out to soften the blow, to reassure them that your healing isn't meant to hurt them. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an apology for choosing yourself. You don't owe them stagnation to make them feel better about their own. Your growth is not a punishment to them. It's a gift to yourself. I'm also picking up on gossip. This person might be talking about you a lot to anyone who will listen. And the irony, the more they talk, the more obvious their obsession becomes. The more they claim they're over it, the more their actions prove they're not. And people notice. They might not say it to this person's face, but they notice. Let them talk. Your life will speak louder than their words ever could. I want to shift the energy slightly here because this isn't just about them. This is about you recognizing your own power. The fact that your absence, your growth, your peace is affecting someone this deeply, that shows how much space you took up in their world. And now they have to sit with that emptiness. Figure out who they are without you as a reference point. That's their journey, not yours. I'm also sensing that some of you might be afraid of this person's anger, afraid of what they might do or say, afraid of confrontation or retaliation. And if that's you, please trust your instincts, protect yourself, set boundaries, block if necessary. Distance yourself physically if you need to. Your safety, emotional and physical, matters more than their feelings. But for most of you, this anger is just noise. Loud, uncomfortable noise, but noise nonetheless. It can't actually touch you unless you open the door and let it in. As I'm closing this reading, I want to remind you of something. Their jealousy, their anger, their hate, none of it changes your path. You're still moving forward. You're still healing. You're still becoming, and they're still stuck. still looking backward, still wrestling with emotions they don't know how to process. That's the difference between you and them. And that difference is only going to grow wider with time. So keep going. Keep choosing yourself. Keep building your life. Keep protecting your peace, not to prove anything to them, not to make them regret, but because you deserve to thrive. And eventually, they'll fade into the background. A chapter you closed, a lesson you learned, a person who couldn't match your growth. Thank you for being here. If this resonated, share in the comments. Have you felt someone's negative energy toward you lately? And how are you protecting yourself from it? Your freedom matters more than their frustration. Remember that.